Hi everybody, and welcome to my sketchbook tour, the first one of 2023. Let's go! Okay guys, this is my favourite sketchbook, and I got this for Christmas. It's a Hahnemühle D and S sketchbook. The D and S is drafting and sketching. They're really hard to get hold of. I did try on Sennelier. They were for about €9, but they're all out of stock. The black ones are still available. The black are only 120 GSM paperweight, so no good for me. These red ones are 140 GSM, and that is the minimum I will use for the paperweight. And I have to say that the paper is slightly different to a regular paperweight of 140. It feels a little bit thicker, actually, than what a regular 140 is. So, without further ado, let's take a look. And also, stay tuned to the end of the video, where I will be showing you the new sketchbook that I will be starting to use. Because until these become more available, I had to go for a different brand. Let's go. This is the first page, and I use Neo colours. I won't talk about all of them because this sketchbook, I forgot to say, this sketchbook has 160 pages, not sheets, pages. And that was, I think, 80 sheets. So 160 pages. So I was pretty excited about that. So these are all done with the Neo Color water-soluble wax crayons. They're the only watercolours I will be using for this entire year. I was gifted a set of 15, and I am adding another 15. So that is my full colour palette for the year. What I love about them is they're light fast, they're artist grade pigments. You can use them dry with this texture with adding just a little water, or you can completely blend them out to a delicate translucent. Even though they're opaque, you can make them a translucenty watercolour. Now, conte does not work very well. That's the only thing I will say, because the paper surface will deteriorate quite quickly if you're really rubbing and blending or adding too much water. That's the only thing. But these rival the Royal Talens sketchbooks. And what I love is that it was landscape. And I haven't used landscape really very much at all. And I love landscape now, but I've tried it. Because you get more, you don't feel so restricted. I jumped back and forth when I was running out of this, getting low, to my portrait sketchbook by Rowney, and I really felt restricted after using this. And this was a bunch of houses. A lot of my work is inspired by Pinterest or TV shows, things like that, or just random out of my head. The frog on the pond. We've got watermelons, bell peppers, a milkshakey thing, and then this character. I'm watching the BBC period drama that aired in the early 90s called The House of Elliot, and it is about haute couture, dresses and fashion designers basically, and how they struggled these two sisters in the 1920s. It's not based on reality, it's just, you know, what possibly would have happened in that era. And then obviously my cups of coffee. And I used a rainbow pencil because I got some by Coin, what are they called? Koh-i-Noor. They're the popular rainbow pencils anyway. And then this owl, I thought that came out really nice. I love how vivid the neo colours are. And this is quite a popular thing from Pinterest. And then I started doing these terrarium, they're called, which is like worlds within like light bulbs or other objects, like jam jars. I've got the apples. I thought this came out quite good. And then this was for Dina Tollefson's January the 20th of 2023 Snow Art Challenge. You can see that on my channel as a short YouTube short video if you search for that. And then this, just random. This was inspired by the cartoon animation, whatever you call it, the Smurfs in a way. I think that's cool. Gives me lots of imagination and ideas. And again, inspired by Pinterest, there was this girl on a swing inside a bottle. It was just, I thought, random. And then a world in a light bulb in kind of space or something. And then I did this long kind of house, but didn't follow it on to the next page. I thought I'd break up and have two pictures. So these are the beach huts on the beach. And then I started, because I got my Lamy pen, which had a bold nib, it has a bold nib, I started adding tablecloths and serviettes to my designs. And I love doing kind of breakfast tables. So the pot of jam and the teapot and fruit and coffee. Lots of random different ideas of breakfast tables. And then again, I've done the fish in the light bulb idea. And then this portrait is of the other sister in the House of Elliot. This is Beatrix. And then I tried a different idea of covering the whole background with a different water soluble pastel. It wasn't the neo colours. And then I added the neo colours on top, and it did work. And then I've got my rooster chicken, and then a bigger version of the sparrow, I think. And then, let's see if we've got this. This was a made up, I don't know if we're going to get that on camera fully. If not, I'll take a photo. But it's a made up person, inspired obviously by the House of Elliot. Just a made up character with different clothing and fashion. And then we go back to the light bulb. Like my 3 Men in a Boat and the lighthouse and the ocean, all inside a light bulb. And then I had a go at doing sandwiches, kind of a tilted sandwich. And then here, and I quite liked that. This I felt came out a bit too rigid, but it was basically like a Danish open sandwich where you've got soft cheese and smoked salmon on top, and did the serviette again. And then this is like one of my favourites. I did fish and chips, but two different versions. So I did like a natural fish, like a real fish on the chips with the paper. And then I did traditional fish and chips, which is battered fish with the chips and the ketchup. Again, all with neo colours. And then this pizza came out very well. It's neo colours. And then I did this kind of roasted chicken. It's what we have every Sunday, is a roasted chicken with Yorkshire pudding, and we have seasoning, or if you live in the United Kingdom you'll call it stuffing, but we prefer to call it seasoning, which is basically breadcrumbs, egg and herbs mixed together, and you would use it to stuff your Christmas turkey, but we actually have it not stuffed in the bird. We have it separate and rolled into balls and roasted in the oven. And so this is a plate of our Sunday lunch, and then the separate components there. Then I was playing with the Lamy pen that arrived on this day, and it came with blue water-soluble ink. And so then I did this cupcake, and I outlined it with, I think, the Lamy pen as well, just to make it stand out a bit more. And then I had it more fun with the cups. And then this burger came out really lovely, nice and vibrant. And then I've had fun with my tablecloths again, doing the poached egg on toast and these two teacups. And then this is basically like food variety now. That was my first attempt at doing a chocolate eclair, but it came out more like strawberry jam something or other. And then this is avocado toast, which I thought came out nice. And then I did avocado with poached egg on top, and the egg will come out a bit greeny because of the avocado. And then I did my swatches of the Neo colours, but I've actually done a separate little swatch card in my tin now. And then this was like a random bowl of ice cream. And then back to doing some breakfast table things. And then I did some random items inspired by Melanie Chadwick, YouTube artist. She was drawing random things from her food cupboard. So I really had a phase where I loved golden syrup when we lived in the United Kingdom, but I've broken the habit of that now. And now this is one of my favourite spreads, the breakfast table. You've got the cafetiere, coffee maker. You've got the jam, butter and toast, the butter, toast, the jam pot, sugar pot, and then a plate from like an aerial view, the egg on toast with some mushrooms, and then you've got some sliced avocado on toast, vase of flowers. Then I tried to do an aerial view of like a cheese board in a way, but I didn't outline it. I might or I might not. I just kind of leave it as it is. But you've got like strawberries and olives and grapes and slices of meat and like Edam cheese with the red wax and all that kind of stuff. And then this is a fun one. Another burger with a serviette, the fries, and the Coke, and then a purple bunny outside, and then a plant pot on a mat. And then this was my first order of Sennelier art supplies turned up. And again, that's a video that you can see on my channel, so I would click that after you've watched this. My first art graph, Taylor's chalk style watercolor block thing arrived in a magenta pink, and so I was having a go just scrubbing it over my page and then adding water, and it's incredibly vibrant pink because it actually looks like burnt sienna until you add water, and it's really cool. So out of all of that, I could see this kind of bridge, so I then developed it into a bit of a bridge with water underneath. And then I had a go at doing a kind of almost like a Monet style wild flower field. And then I did a bit, I've not done this before properly, it's like a comic book style panel where I have stories from years back. You may have remembered me mentioning them on my channel, these made up characters called Sorbies. And they had their own world, and own language, and it was all a bit Tolkien and in-depth. So I did a basic story that was 6 panels, and it says, one sunny day on top of Hot Pudding Hill a storm arrived, and you can see this magical picnic table where hot pudding will come out of the middle. There's like a little not a hole, but like a panel that's like a lever that goes up and down for the bowls to come in and out of, and so they come out and they're there. So the storms come, and the water droplets were huge, and the puddings got very wet. The hill got very wet, and then the sunshine came back and the storm left, and Hot Pudding Hill dried out, and hot delicious puddings appeared again. The end. So the bowls go back in for automatic cleaning and then come out fresh with hot pudding. And that's what the Sorbies enjoy having. Then this was like disaster. I, for some reason, tried to do a suitcase open and put items inside. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know. So then I did a strawberry character. This came out really like wrong. I don't know. Not wrong, but not how I had intended. And I think this was supposed to be hair, actually. Or ears. But anyway, it's come out just like a weird strawberry character in the strawberry patch, basically. Then I've had a go at doing some fashion again, inspired by House of Elliot. And then I've done some just simple food items, some cookies on a plate and milkshakey drinks. This I like, really came out nice. Aerial view of the coffee on the kind of willow pattern. The willow pattern is the blue pattern saucers, basically, and the jam and the spoon, and then this Eastery scene, the daffodils, came out nice. Then I had a go at doing hands, but I actually copied not copied, it was a reference I was looking at of someone else's drawing of a hand, and really you should be looking at a photo of a hand, really, or your own hand, you know, not really look at someone else's drawing to do a hand. So it was kind of bad reference for me. It came out a bit claw-like, and a bit like witch fingers. Now this design was inspired by another YouTube artist called Becky Chow, and she is in Canada. And this particular video of hers, she was at a cafe in Canada, I think it was Vancouver maybe, where they have cats everywhere. Their cats are loose all over the cafe. And I know what you're thinking, maybe health and safety, but the cats are there for adoption, so you can adopt them if you want to, or you can just enjoy a well-being experience. And I was just fascinated, but I've not seen that before. The cats all over the place while you're having your coffee. The children loved it, of course. They're all stroking the cats. So that inspired this to do character cats. And you'll know from the book that my mum and I illustrated, well, my mum wrote it and I illustrated it, of about our cats that we have. And it was called The Cats That St. Current Does, so I'm used to illustrating the cats. So this was kind of based on that, but this is not our cats. So you've got different cats playing with mice toys and mouse balls, and this one's wearing a coat, and this one's ready to pounce, and he's knocked the water bowl over. And then we've got giant flowers coming out the ground here, and then a random kettle, and then this is the better, proper version of a chocolate eclair, and I just outlined with pen a bit more of the detail. And then I've got, inspired by Pinterest again, an arm coming through the page with a vase of flowers and a little tag that says happy birthday. It's not a vase, sorry, it's a bouquet of flowers. And then I did a birthday giant cupcake and this mug, and I was quite pleased with how this pepper came out. And no pen outline apart from the napkin. And this was just random. Well, flowers coming down, the wildflowers, and this big cup of coffee on a tablecloth. And then a kind of lighthouse boat beach scene. And flowers again. And this was fun to do. We call it egg and soldiers in England, but basically the soldiers are the fingers of toast, buttered toast, and they'd go all around the plate, and you dip it into a soft-boiled egg. And then this is a kind of dream art room. If I was a neat and tidy artist, which I'm not, there would be pegboards, a rug, a desk that was not cluttered with a desk light on it, a trolley full of art stuff and drawers full of art stuff, all neat and tidy, unlike in real life where it's all over the place. And then we've got another different apple, and then we've got some wildflowers. I think these were kind of thistles I was doing. And then a nice birthday cake, and another apple, and then a pod of peas that caught my interest on Pinterest. And then this is just out of my head again, these two. You've got some people walking dogs, and more men in a boat fishing, and the mountains, and this is just a random big butterfly. And then again another terrarium design of earth inside a light bulb. And then I've got this nice table set up. And this came out interesting. I think this could have been inspired either by Pinterest or designs I saw on the news. And then this is nice, again from Pinterest, the owl. And then I did in a great big kind of glass bowl, I put a world of fish and things in there. And then a botanical design. And then this is a nice breakfast design. Got the big cup of coffee here, a glass of orange juice and a croissant. And then here, a jug of kitchen wooden utensils. Got some botanical designs here, and then this really inspired me on Pinterest. Mine is totally different to the actual inspired design, but basically vegetables were turned into houses, so I thought, yes, I love that idea, so I did my own version. And then this is a nice design here. We've got more botanicals and botanicals again, and then magic toadstool kind of garden with some butterflies and kind of glow flies. And then this caught my eye on Pinterest. It's just a tin mug, but I liked the blue and the white. And then this, I was testing out my water brush that turned up. It was my replacement, as you know, to my and I must mention, so the Sakura Koi brush I kept saying was great is no good. Bought the replacement, which is a Kotaki H2O brush, purple. I said to you in my last video that it was disappointing because it only has like one hole. You can't even squeeze it to fill it up from the water, a water pot, or fill it up from a tap. So it had the tiny hole is in fact for a blunt needle syringe thing, which I happen to have for refilling my ink cartridges. So you do need, they're cheap enough. It's like €5 I spent, I think, last year with getting a blunt needle and a syringe, and it fits perfectly to fill up with water. So basically I was just testing to do all this, different colours and brush strokes, and then added some tiny flower heads. More mugs, and then again inspired by Pinterest, these two. So this image was actually of a girl in a hammock in like a greenhouse botanical place. So I put mine in reading a book in an art studio with giant art supplies to tie the hammock to. And then this again had different flowers. They were smaller and the car was a different colour. But I was just so pleased how the car came out, because I hardly ever draw cars. And I was just really pleased with how that came out. And then I did a cactus, another different style of coffee mug. And I really like how these houses came out. I did different colours. And my second vehicle of a camper van, of course I had to do it in my own colour style. And then I just did some random candy. We candy floss and some sweets. And then some cupcakes. So you can see some of my designs are really in depth and others are just light-hearted kind of doodle styles, whimsical. And then I did 3 bottles with different things going on. So carrots are growing in this middle one. You've got 3 men in a boat fishing in this one. And then you've got a lighthouse in the ocean in the last one. All kind of growing in a garden. They're just placed there. And then this is a full spread of a table with lots of different things on. So you've got some hard-boiled eggs, croissant, utensils in a jar, block of cheese, ham slices, butter, bowl of fresh fruit salad, cupcakes, toast with butter and jam, and a giant cup of coffee. And another cup of coffee, but this time it's connected, and this coffee pot, the steam, you could put words in the steam bubbles. And then these guys are fishing in a boat. Thought that was a nice spread. And this one was fun. This is Captain James Hook from the movie Hook. And I wet the area and used my new permanent drawing ink in my Lamy bold nibbed pen, and it says, "On to the next adventure." I like how he came out. And I followed on with a simple night sky with the 2 stars, the second star to the right over here. And the very last page is an outline of a cat on a rock with the water behind and the trees and the sun. And I thought I would quickly add some colour to this design now. Okay guys, so this is how it looks now. The colour has been added. And that is the end of the sketchbook tour. I look forward to hopefully finding this sketchbook again at a reasonable price. I have asked Jackson Art Supplies if they will consider stocking it. And they did get back to me saying that they have passed it on to the team that deal with adding new products to their list, but it could take a while and they may still decide not to, so at least I've tried. And so the sketchbook I'm going to be moving on to that Jackson Art Supplies have started selling now is the Fabriano drawing book. It has 60 sheets, it's A5, and it's 160 GSM, which is £80. It's acid free, and I've used these before, and I've had one before and I loved it, but it was A4 and it was too big for me really to do anything proper, and they have them in landscape, so I'm really pleased. So we're going to get into this and see if the paper has changed, which I really hope it hasn't changed. So we'll just get the old sketchbook out of the way and move on to the new one. Considering it's by Fabriano, it's a price I could justify. And I'm trying to be only using European brands, simply because it's more cost effective to do so. Hence why I'm using the Caran d'Ache Neo colours, because for me it's more cost effective. They last longer because they're wax crayon. They're artist grade. I do prefer them to Lyra. I did try those years back though. I just find Neo colours are more superior. But they're light fast, artist grade, and yeah, I really find them cost effective. And here is the sketchbook. It's hard-backed, obviously. It's a hydropower product, so Fabriano tried to be as sustainable as possible. Nice first protective cover there. And then this is the paper. Feels thick. I don't have to fight with it too much to fold it. I would say the Hahnemühle is easier to turn the pages. The stitching is better. I feel this might be a little... This might be the type of sketchbook that you need an elastic band for to keep everything together the more you use it. Whereas the Hahnemühle one had a cloth protection over the binding. So it lay flat and you didn't need an elastic band. It doesn't come with one, but you didn't actually need it. On the Hahnemühle one, I would only say my kind of thing I would probably say we could do without on it is the bookmark. It's a very thin, weedy piece of ribbon that I think you could do without, and by doing without it you would actually cut the cost even more of the sketchbook. That would be my only recommendation. But this is new and we've got to get into it and get this spine going. Hopefully it's not going to be damaged. Yep, and there we have it, guys. So it has the Fabriano name on the back here, indented, embossed. And I'm going to see you on the next video, guys. Don't forget to hit the like button. Give me a comment if the comments are turned on, that is. I know YouTube keeps switching my comments off, which is annoying, and I have to manually keep switching them on. But the thumbs up helps me, comments help me, and sharing the video helps me. And so thank you again for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you all again on the next video really soon. Bye.